Are you your own worst enemy? Do the thoughts in your head, do your beliefs about yourself limit you from becoming the person that you know you can be? If so, this is going to be the episode for you because we're going to talk about how to make a positive shift so that you can see things in a way that allow you to succeed. My name is Henry, and welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here today as we connect on this message because it is going to be a powerful, uplifting one. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So you can pick a word. It can be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And you're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one is about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so that we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So one of the beliefs I have is that perspective will set you free. See, I believe that we are observers and creators of our experience. That's like at the core of what we are. We're not our bodies. We're not our status. We're not our job. We're not all these things that we think we are. We're an energetic being having an observation and creation experience. And if that's the case, if what you observe matters because you'll create more of it, because that's where we get the information, the fuel to create more, then your perspective is what we should be most focused on in this life. So if you can't do something, if you're struggling, whether you're trying to get this new job, you're trying to make more money, you're trying to expand in your life, you're trying to get out of a negative mindset, you're trying to get out of a hurtful situation, whatever it is, your perspective is what can free you. Because what you observe, you create more of. So if you can get a different perspective of a situation, you can create a different outcome of the situation. You see, it's never the limitations of you that are the problem. It's your view of the situation that's preventing you from finding the way out. Think about this. You're going through a situation. We're going to use money for the example. You're trying to make more money. You make $50,000 a year, but you're ready to expand. You want to make $200,000 a year. That's a big leap. When you look at your current finances, the current way you make money, it's difficult to see, how can I make this? How can I times it by 4 and make $200,000 a year? Now imagine if there's someone else that makes $1 million a year and they come to you and you talk to them, you tell them your situation, you tell them your job, you tell them how much free time you have, you tell them your skills, you tell them your opportunities, you tell them all of that. Do you think that they would have the same perspective on your situation as you? No. They will have a different perspective. And when they share their point of view, you tap in to their perspective. And the longer you spend time with them, the longer you try to understand them, the longer you try to learn from them, the more you start sharing their perspective. As you start sharing their perspective, you're going to start seeing ways to make it forward. This is, in a sense, what school does. As you go through school, you learn things because your perspective changes, your understanding of things changes. The same as life. As you go through life, you learn and experience things. Your perspective today should be different than your perspective in the past. So if you want to change something, change that. That's the main thing. It doesn't mean you won't have to work. It doesn't mean you won't have to grow. It doesn't mean you won't have to learn things. It's just when your perspective changes, you know where to grow. You know where to expand. You know where to push. You know where to become more of you. See, it's never you that needs to change necessarily. It's the lens that you see the world that needs to change. You have the skill, you have the experience, you have the things that can help you. You just need the perspective. From there, once you have the perspective, you can build upon what you already have, because you will need to learn new things. That's okay. You will need to understand things differently. That's okay. But your perspective will always set you free. Why do you think they say that somebody doing better than you will never talk negatively about you? And by better, I don't mean more successful, like someone making more money. I mean better as in they are doing what you do at a higher level with more love and forgiveness. They're operating in that higher frequency. They are never going to tear you down because their perspective is in a different place. They don't see things in a way where saying anything negative to you would be beneficial to them. They don't put energy in it. They don't expand any of that frequency because they are focused on a perspective that fills them up. And that's what you need to do. That's why the creation of a future self is so important. Because you're not always going to have people that you can talk to that will give you a perspective that levels you up. Sometimes you need to be that guiding light. Your higher self needs to be that guiding light through meditation, prayer, whatever you do to tap into that energy. When you start viewing things from that point of view, you start seeing different ways through. That's why it starts with just building the special day in the future, whether it's a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever you have to do to expand enough to where you don't feel the pressure of time, and you create this perfect day. It's not the day you win the lottery. It's not the day that you're on a vacation. It's not the day that you do something amazing. It's a regular day as your higher self. Meaning it's a regular day as the version of you that has accomplished your dreams. It's a regular day as the version of you that has the car you desire, that has the body you desire, that has the house that you desire, that has the internal state that you desire. That's probably the most important part. And so as you start building this version of you, you can leverage that for perspective. And that's what helps. When you get comfortable enough to where this version of you actually exists, that's when you have the power. The first time you do it, it's not going to feel real. The first week you do it, it's not going to feel real. It's going to take time and repetition of staying in that higher frequency, operating and thinking like that version of you, thinking about how does that version of me think? What are the I am statements that that version of me believes? If they already have $1 million in a bank account, it's probably pretty easy for them to say, I'm a millionaire and I receive millions of dollars a year. If they are at peace and they've forgiven people that hurt me so that they can move on, that they've loved people that I wasn't capable of loving at my current state, then it's very easy for them to say, I am love and I live in love and light. If they are in shape, their body looks as I desire, they eat in a way that's in alignment with a healthy person, then it's probably pretty easy for them to say, I am healthy and I make healthy decisions, because they are all the things that you are going to become when you stick with your positive habits. And so that version of you is going to have a different perspective on your situation. One, they're going to have abundant love for you because your current state is what created the change to make them a possibility. They don't exist without you now. So they love you unconditionally. They also love the situation you're in because they know that the situation you're in was the spark that made you decide to change, that made you decide to look at things through a different lens. Once you start getting that connection with them and you realize that that version loves you just as much as you love it, you can start thinking as future self. You start thinking as future self and your perspective changes on your current situation. As soon as you can shift that perspective, you start feeling different. You see, the lens in your mind is not just how you perceive the world, it's how you receive the world. Things aren't just going out, they're coming in. Energy isn't just going out, it's coming in. That's why the lens, your mindset, is so important. That's why this podcast is called the Positive Mindset Podcast. It's not about being happy all the time. It's about creating a mindset that is attracted to the positive frequencies, meaning the love, the energy that's closer to love frequency, so that way you can constantly see it, because your frequency, your internal state, is what you frequently see. Again, it's not just going out, it's coming in. So that's why the lens is so important. That's why the perspective is so important. It's not your situation that matters. It's the perspective that you have of it that dictates how you feel. Remember, we don't see anything. There is nothing that we all see equally. We perceive it from our current state. So if you don't like what you're seeing, if you don't see a way through, if you just see hurt, pain, trauma, all of those things in your situation, then that's the frequency you're operating in, and you have to change your perspective. One of the easiest ways of changing your perspective is connecting with people, with energy, with beings that would see it differently. Learning from them, including your higher self, because that's who you're building. Your higher self exists because of your current state. Your current state created the change, the spark, the inspiration to make the shift to become it. So you can connect to that anytime you need. It's there for you. That's how you shift your perspective. That's how you move through abundantly. Having a consistent positive mindset will free you, because you'll no longer need external things to suit you to make you feel comfortable, because you can find the good in any situation, so you can bring the good within you and you can resonate in the frequency at all times. Doesn't mean you don't want things in the material world. It doesn't mean you don't have to experience things in the material world. Be rich. Be super healthy. Expand, travel the world, buy a nice car, buy a big house, but do it from the love frequency, so that way everything you do, you're doing it to raise frequency within you and others. The frequency within you is what you'll share, so you can do it. Because you can also achieve all the material things without a proper internal state. You can be empty and have everything. That is another level of pain that we don't want. So let's raise our perspective. Let's align with things that are in alignment with what it is that we desire, and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a positive perspective on your current situation, and hopefully a way to see your way through it. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. I appreciate all the follows there. There's also the Positive Mindset Facebook community. There's a link down below for that as well. And if you listen to this episode, or any episode in general, and you're ready to make a shift, you want to tap into that higher perspective, you want to build a mindset that will allow you to move into a different experience, this is what I do. I'm a mindset coach. I help people shift their perspective. I help people build that positive frequency within them. We build the future self. We build the I am statements. We get aligned with what you want to be. I have multiple programs now. I have one for businesses called the Zone of Genius program. I have the one-on-one coaching program. And then I also just launched the Freedom Fundamentals community. If you're interested in that one is a little bit more business-based. If you want to learn how to make money, change your health, and change your mindset, then that community might be right for you as well. Whatever you're interested in, you can reach out to me via Instagram, or there's a link down below, and I will reach out to you directly to give you some more information on whatever it is you'd like to know more of. And if you are a listener of my other show, the Unlock Your Abundance podcast, just a reminder that I am no longer going to be doing new episodes on that channel. They will be coming onto this channel, so I'll slowly be moving all of those on here, and then the Positive Mindset podcast will be going to 7 days a week from there, so that way there'll be an episode every single day, so that we can tap in, learn, and grow and expand together. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.